You also have a couple of really talented, pretty highly thought of cornerbacks. Tyson Campbell. Tell me a little bit about Campbell, and we'll get to his cornerback mate here in a minute. But what about Campbell jumps out?
He's got the size that the NFL teams probably like, and certainly the speed. Now we'll talk about Eric Stokes a little bit later. Not as much of a pure burner as Stokes, but was a big time recruit, 5-star out of American Heritage High School in Plantation, Florida, and really a loaded defense there. The Alabama cornerback's going to be up ahead of him. Was a high school teammate. But Campbell had his ups and downs. I mean, the Alabama game, he got beaten with some big plays, but he certainly is a guy that will fight for contested balls. And I think what he needs to work on is probably playing the ball. A lot of times he looks a little bit out of position in terms of when the ball's in the air, and that's something getting with the right position coach also could continue to mature in that aspect.
Is he a guy that you look at, and you mentioned, Georgia kind of likes to put their corners on an island. Is he a guy that, has that mindset that, I can pretty much cover anybody?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing, even though he did have some ups and downs, he also made his share of big plays, and, he brushed it off pretty fast. It wasn't a guy that necessarily, is going to let a touchdown go against him on the next drive. He can, bounce back pretty fast.
Marc Weiszer, the Georgia Bulldogs beat reporter for the Athens Banner-Herald, talking some Georgia Bulldogs draft prospects. Let's move to his running mate at cornerback, Eric Stokes. So what do you see from him?
Eric's a guy that, as a redshirt freshman at Missouri, really kind of announced himself to, college football, I guess, with a block punt that was returned for a touchdown. 3-star recruit out of Atlanta that was or outside Atlanta that was a kind of a late addition to a signing class, closer to the traditional signing day, and people didn't know much about him except they knew he could run. He was a 100 and 200 meter track guy at Eastside High School, and really developed. When DeAndre Baker went to the NFL as a first-round draft pick, he was the guy that stepped in the next year and became a full-time starter. And on the opposite side of Campbell, and arguably, even though he wasn't as highly recruited as Campbell, probably had a more productive, career in terms of, teams probably went away from him a little bit more.
So which of these guys do you think has the higher ceiling? Which is the safer pick? Is it the same guy? Take me through when you look at these two corners who most people think, as we were talking, could slide up into the back half of the first round, certainly second or third round guys. Who is the higher ceiling? Who is the safer pick?
I think so the Browns have pick 59 in the second round. I think Campbell is more likely to not be available there than Stokes. The safer pick is probably Campbell. The Campbell could have more upside, but I think Stokes has probably a lower or a higher floor. I think he's going to be dependable. And he had 4 interceptions last year. I think Campbell might have had 1. But I think Tyson's shown that while he can match up well, and a lot of times he can also take in a little bit more of a rocky ride. I think Stokes a little bit more consistent. If you're looking for a guy that you feel safer with just because of his measurables, that's probably Tyson Campbell.